The movie begins with an anxious woman, Nikki. She sits in her car, turns on the radio, and drives through deserted roads. She digs a big pit with all her strength and buries something in it, then returns home. After that, she carefully cleans herself and the house as well. Now the story takes us back 1 week. Nikki is talking to her sister on the phone when she notices that a new neighbor is moving into the empty house next to hers. Nikki works as a caretaker in an old age home. Due to a serious staff shortage, she has to work continuously without any leave. After this exhausting daily life, when she returns home, the only peace she gets is from cuddling and stroking her cat in her lap and listening to classical music while cooking. In these calm moments, Nikki bakes a cake for herself and starts watching TV while enjoying it. But suddenly, a loud bass sound starts echoing from the other side of the wall. Her new neighbor is fond of loud music and parties. He and his friends, drunk on alcohol and drugs, dance and make noise almost the entire night with the volume turned up high. Nikki tries her best somehow to fall asleep. But by the time the music finally stops, it is around 4 a.m. Nikki feels she might finally get a few moments of peace and be able to sleep properly. But then, instead of music, the loud and vulgar sounds of the neighbors having sex begin. All this troubles Nikki so much that she is forced to leave her bedroom and sleep on the sofa in the hall. With half sleep and a tired body, she somehow leaves for work in the morning and notices dog poop from the neighbor's dog on her lawn. To avoid getting into a fight, she quietly cleans it herself without saying anything and goes to work. After a tiring day, in the evening when she returns home, she again falls asleep on the sofa. She only gets a few moments of sleep when her college-going son calls. Nikki tells him that in the house next to theirs, which belonged to his grandfather, a new tenant has moved in and he partied all night for his housewarming. Nikki convinces herself that maybe this was only the first day, and they made so much noise because of the happiness of the new house. Nikki feeds her cat and calmly resumes her daily chores. But as night falls, once again loud music and heavy bass start thundering from the neighbor's side. Annoyed, Nikki goes to talk to the neighbor herself. The door is opened by her new neighbor, Dino. Nikki politely explains that she could not sleep properly the previous night, and that she has to leave for work at 7 a.m., so could he please lower the music a bit. After some jokes and casual banter, Dino, acting like a good neighbor, agrees to her request and tells his friends to turn off the bass. While leaving, Nikki also requests Dino to keep an eye on his friend's dog so that it does not dirty her lawn again. At this, Dino asks in a slightly aggressive tone whether she is completely sure that it was their dog that did it. Then he laughs and says he was just joking and promises it will not happen again. Back home, Nikki plays a meditation recording on her phone so she can sleep in peace. She immerses herself in the sound of ocean waves. But in the same rhythm, she sees Dino playing loud drums. Suddenly, at 4 a.m. again, loud music from the neighbors wakes her up. Disturbed and angry, she goes back to the neighbors. But this time Dino does not agree to turn it down, so Nikki threatens to call the police. This makes Dino even more aggressive, and in a rude manner he calls Nikki a snitch and drives her out of his lawn. Back home, Nikki calls the police. But they say there is no clear legal violation yet, so they cannot do anything right now. They advise her to collect some evidence over a few days showing how the neighbor is disturbing her. Only then can the neighbor be evicted. Exhausted, Nikki drives to the seaside and sleeps in her car. In the morning, a parking officer wakes her up there. He turns out to be Nikki's old friend, Kev. Friendship is one thing, but while on duty he still issues a ticket in Nikki's name for parking without a ticket. At work, Nikki borrows a cigarette from a coworker, even though she had quit smoking around 20 years ago when her son was born. To find a little peace amidst her restlessness and fatigue, she listens to classical music and eats her lunch in the car. In the evening, while returning home, her attention is caught by changing the radio channel. At that very moment, her car almost hits a woman coming from the front. That woman is Jackie McIntyre, a powerful and dangerous figure in the area. Angry, Jackie tells Nikki to get out of the car so they can settle the matter. But in panic, Nikki apologizes and quickly drives away. When she reaches home and passes by Dino, who is standing in the lawn with his friends, Dino starts imitating a police siren to mock her and then turns the loud music back on. Nikki goes door to the other neighbors and tries to convince them that everyone should file a complaint together with the authorities. But the noise reaching their homes is much lower, and they also do not want to get involved in government hassles, so they refuse. Now Nikki has no way left to escape the loud music. Upset, she starts smoking regularly again. Just then, she remembers the visiting card given by her friend Kev. She calls him and asks to meet at a bar so she can get away from the noise for a while. With no better topic for conversation, they start talking about the recent funeral of Nikki's father. Kev gives her a violin because he knows how much she loves classical music. Then Nikki goes to spend the night at Kev's house. Kev hopes that perhaps their relationship will move forward, but Nikki simply falls into a deep sleep. In the morning, she leaves quietly without saying anything and goes home, where she starts mowing her lawn at full volume to give Dino and his friends, who are hungover, a taste of their own medicine. But during this, her foot suddenly steps on the dog poop again. In anger, a dangerous idea comes to Nikki's mind. She mixes the dog poop stuck to her shoe into chocolate batter, makes chocolate cupcakes out of it, and goes to Dino's house under the pretense of apologizing for her behavior the previous night, then feeds him those cupcakes. This gives Nikki a small but definite sense of satisfaction. She buys headphones so it will be easier to tolerate Dino's parties. But even with that, the heavy bass and vibrations coming through the wall keep disturbing her. The bass is so strong that even the glass of water on the table starts shaking. From constant lack of sleep and rising stress, Nikki loses her temper and goes outside, picking up a brick to throw at Dino's window, but at the last moment she stops. At that instant, she remembers that she still has a spare key to her father's old house, the one Dino now lives in. The next day, as soon as Dino goes out, Nikki seizes the chance, uses that key to enter Dino's house, and punctures the membranes of his speakers. She pours beer into the amplifier. Satisfied with this act of sabotage, Nikki feels a bit of peace and returns to her chores. This time, the noise does not come, but instead Dino himself shows up at her door, pounding and shouting. He says he knows that her parents used to live in that house before, and it is possible she still has a spare key. He threatens her that she will have to pay for the music system she has damaged, no matter what. Terrified and restless, Nikki sits in her kitchen with a knife in her hand and falls asleep right there. Suddenly, a stranger quietly enters Nikki's house and is about to attack her with the same knife when Nikki screams and wakes up. It turns out to be just a terrifying nightmare. In the morning, she calls her workplace and says she will not be able to come today because she is not feeling well. During the day, she looks out the window and sees Dino unloading new speakers outside his house. Right then, Nikki realizes that her cat has not come to eat for the last 2 days. Panicking, she goes to the backyard to look for him. There, across the fence, she meets Dino's friend Clarky. Nikki asks him about her cat, but Clarky says he has not seen it anywhere either. A little later, Nikki receives an official reply from the authorities stating that the noise from her neighbors' parties is within the permitted limit, so she will have to handle it herself. In this stress, she almost sets her kitchen on fire by forgetting to turn off the oven. She somehow manages to control the situation when a letter from Dino drops in through her mail slot. It clearly says that Nikki must pay £850 for the new sound system, and if she does not, she will face serious consequences. Immediately after this, Dino deliberately starts blasting his new speakers at full volume, as if to show that he is going to make even more noise now. A little later, Kev comes to see Nikki. He wants to return the violin he had gifted and also check whether Nikki is alright. When Kev hears the loud music, Nikki complains that this is the same noise she has been suffering from, day and night, because of her new neighbor. On top of that, she fears he may have stolen her cat, since it has been missing for 2 days. Hearing Nikki's words, Kev bursts with anger and, without listening to her fully, goes out to talk to Dino. Panicking, Nikki grabs her savings from the kitchen and runs after him. But by then, Dino has already punched Kev and broken his nose. Seeing the situation worsen, Nikki quickly hands Dino the full amount for the speakers and asks him to return her cat. Dino flatly denies having seen it. But when Nikki notices Clarky standing nearby and laughing, she senses something is wrong. She wants to go inside Dino's house to check for herself whether the cat is there or not, but Dino does not let her in. Furious, Nikki threatens that if anything has happened to her cat, she will take his life and then walks away. Now her anger also turns toward Kev. She blames him, saying that because of him, an already unbearable situation has become even worse. Feeling ashamed, Kev quietly leaves. Left alone, Nikki tries to call her sister, but hears only the cold, impersonal voice of the answering machine. With the constant blaring music and no emotional support from anyone, her mental condition rapidly deteriorates, and the effect is not limited to just her. Nikki sees cracks starting to appear on the walls and ceiling of her ancestral house. The stress built up over a week finally reaches its peak and Nikki suffers a nervous breakdown. She starts throwing things around the house in anger, screaming loudly. Suddenly, after such a long time, complete silence sets in. Due to heavy rain and bad weather outside, the electricity goes out. Unable to believe her luck, Nikki steps out into the rain and joyfully soaks herself under the open sky. After some time, when she lies down to sleep, she suddenly hears a faint meowing from the other side of the wall. Before she can listen properly, the power returns, and the music starts again. Nikki immediately takes a ladder to the attic, and under cover of the loud bass, she carefully makes a hole in the brick wall separating the two houses, then climbs down into the second floor of Dino's house. The people lost in the party downstairs neither see nor hear anything. Calling out to her cat, Nikki reaches the bedroom, where she finds her cat's dead body under the bed. She breaks down, crying, and carries the body back to her house to bury it. Just then, Nikki sees Dino's friend Clarky step out into the backyard. Without thinking, she grabs a knife, goes outside, and presses it against Clarky's neck, forcing him into her house. Because of the loud music, no one hears Clarky's screams. Nikki tapes him up and, like a prisoner, drags him outside and makes him lie down in the trunk of her car. This is the same moment that was shown at the beginning of the movie. Nikki drives him out of the city into the forest. She digs a pit and makes Clarky lie in it, then begins to bury him alive for killing her cat and tormenting her. Terrified, Clarky keeps saying he did not kill her cat, begging for mercy and promising he will never party with Dino again and will convince Dino to stay quiet as well. He is so scared that he even pees in his pants. Then Nikki shows him a knife and gives him a final warning that if she ever sees him again, she will finish what she started. She cuts the tape around his legs and lets him go. Then she buries only her cat in the pit she dug. In the morning, as soon as she returns home, Nikki quietly enters Dino's house, where he is in a deep sleep after partying all night. She picks up a hammer, intending to attack him. But then she notices a girl sleeping next to him on the bed. For a moment she stops. When Nikki reads the name on the girl's clothes, Marley McIntyre, a new plan immediately forms in her mind. She realizes that this girl is the underage daughter of Jackie McIntyre, the tough and feared woman of the area. A short while later, after Nikki calls her, Jackie arrives in front of Dino's house with a group of her bulky goons and relatives. Nikki is already sitting outside, ready to watch the spectacle. Jackie's goons force their way into Dino's house. Dino panics and tries to escape out of a second-floor window, but his attempt fails. The goons drag him outside. With her headphones on, Nikki listens to classical music and calmly enjoys watching Dino's brutal beating. Enraged, Jackie avenges the insult to her daughter's honor by cutting off Dino's ear. But as soon as Jackie's daughter comes out of the house, badly beaten Dino seizes the chance and runs away. Still, at last Nikki gets permanent relief from her rude neighbor. Peace returns to the house. In this newfound calm, Nikki decides to learn the violin and records an apologetic video for Kev. Later, Nikki and Kev go out together into nature, where they set up an inflatable bouncy castle and, laughing and smiling, jump around like children. With this peaceful and hopeful moment, the movie comes to an end. ChatGPT can make mistakes.